Oh, hold on,
Tracy.
Nick. After I thought I was on screen on record. That's why I gave you the big send off with the bit, well, the big send up. Sorry, with the introduction, mate. I thought I was on camera.
Tracy, thank you for that reminder because I would have been 3/4 way through this and I would have not remembered that at all. But anyway, so this Facebook training, I didn't learn this from anybody that worked at Facebook. I didn't take any courses on how to build Facebook organically or anything like that. This training is strictly what I've done, what I do to build businesses organically using Facebook, because there's two ways that you can build a business using Facebook. You can use paid ads or you can build it organically, right? So with this training, this is just what I've done. This is just what I've kind of found to be the most effective. And it's what I did to kind of build my businesses in the past. So without further ado, I'll share the screen here and let's just dive in. So, okay, can everybody see it? Yeah. Okay, cool. So with Facebook, I'm sure you've heard this a million times, but it is really and truly about relationships, building relationships. Building relationships. There's a fantastic book out there by Gary Vee called Jab, 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 Right Hook. Okay. And so, got it. More people coming in. So in this book, Gary Vee really talks about the social media strategy to build a following and to build a more successful kind of sales presence on your Facebook. So the strategy is called jab, 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 right hook. And so what the heck does that mean, right? Well, that means is that if we were boxing and all you did was swing those big right hooks and that was your only move, you'd be pretty predictable. And you would probably be the worst boxer of all time because you would lose every fight because every single person knows what your next move is going to be. And you lose every fight. So, Leo, go lay down, go lay down, go lay down, go lay down. Sorry, dog, go lay down. And so basically the strategy here is to jab, to bounce a little bit and to dance with your opponent, to be unpredictable, right? And it's the same strategy on your Facebook, on your social media. You don't want to just be asking people for stuff, asking for sales, asking for, come look at my amazing products, come look at my amazing opportunity, come follow my stuff, blah, 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 blah. Always asking your audience for stuff. You need to dance a little bit. You need to jab, 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 then right hook. So in the book, basically what it means is give, then ask. Okay. Give, then ask. Give value, give value, give value, give value, then ask. Like, I'm sure we've all kind of been a part of a relationship that all the person did was ask for things, right? And we all know the quality of that relationship. Well, if that's all we're doing on our Facebook, just asking people for stuff, asking people, hey, I'm doing this new thing, come check out this new thing, without first providing any value, well, of course, nobody's really coming to take a look at it. Why would they? You haven't provided them with any value, right? So that's the strategy with posting on social media and building a business on social media. And that's it for tonight's training. I'll talk to you later. Kidding. I think I'm funny. So while using Facebook, learning technology does not beat the algorithm, okay? Thoughtfulness beats the algorithm. Thoughtfulness is the ultimate algorithm hack. If you can operate your Facebook on a daily basis out of thoughtfulness, rather than thinking, what's a cool little new technique or a piece of technology or Google Chrome plugin or whatever thing that I can do to kind of outsmart the algorithm to grow. It doesn't work like that. They have built the algorithm out of being authentic and being thoughtful with the people that you're connecting with. So the more authentic and thoughtful that you can be with your audience when you're commenting, when you're liking on stuff, when you're loving on stuff, when you're reacting with stuff, the more authentic you are, the more effort that you put into the engagement, the better engagement you're going to get, right? So this is super basic. So obviously, step number one, Facebook 101. The whole goal here is to get people to like and engage on your stuff, and that's how we generate our leads, right? So if you can get someone to engage with your post by liking, commenting, or sharing on it, then they'll be able to see then they will be able to see your future content. So that's obviously the whole idea here. So the more engagement, the more engagement, the more posts are going to show up in their algorithms, okay? So for you to get more engagement, you have to thoughtfully engage more. So a core factor in the algorithm is how much time has passed since you've posted, okay? So half of your engagement on your post will happen in the first 90 minutes of your post. 75% of your engagement will happen within the first 5 hours of your post. And after 8 hours, your post is virtually non-consistent. So what is kind of the biggest number one key when building a business using Facebook? Consistency. Consistency, right? So you want to be posting often. You want to be posting on an often schedule that you can be consistent with, so that people kind of know what and when they can expect something from you, right? So I like to post at the 2 busiest times of day. I like to post twice a day if I can, every single day at the busiest times of day. So people always ask me, Nick, when's the best time to post? In the morning, the evening, blah, 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 blah. When is it, right? Well, there's a cool little kind of trick that you can do to gauge when the best time to post is for you. So I'm not sure about you, but my audience is global. It is a global audience in all time zones. So therefore, there really is no best time to post, right? But what a person can do is they can go to their Facebook Messenger and they can see how many people are active. And if a person really cares about this, they can check how many people are active every 2 hours, during waking hours for like the next week. And you can see when the best time to post is, because the best time to post is when there's the most amount of people online. It has nothing to do with posting at 6 a.m. or 10 a.m. or 12 p.m. or whatever. Time doesn't really matter. What matters is how many people are online. So if you can figure out how many of your people are online, that is the best time for you to post, to get maximum engagement, to get maximum viewership of your content, okay? So I like to save the longer posts for later in the day, not for when people are just waking up. So the long posts can include like the past, present, future type stuff, talk about my why, tell different stories and stuff like that. The inspirational, funny, short posts, kind of like with the big letter writing, or I guess nowadays they have like those block backgrounds. Those I find are the best for in the mornings, because they're light, they're easy, they're funny, and they just kind of get the day going, right? Problem solution posts work amazing. So problem solution posts, what's the best way to describe this? So problem solution posts, everybody buys stuff to solve a problem, right? So if you're writing a post, if you can, in that post, identify a problem that maybe you've had before in the past, and then provide a solution to that problem, there is going to be somebody that reads that can resonate with that. Okay, so that stuff is very, very powerful. So that's why you'll find a lot of times, like myself, and Elle is amazing at this. She's an amazing story writer with her content, right? Because she always talks about something that she's experiencing or going through, and then she provides a solution, right? That's amazing content. And that's the stuff that people come back for to read, because it's inspiring and it provides, let me hear it. I guess I won't be able to hear it because you're all muted, but value, right? Value provides value. People are going to decide to join you in your business because you've made an emotional connection with them. And that, my friend, is what it is all about, making that emotional connection. So your feed should inform and your feed should entertain. Okay. It's like our Facebook news feeds are the new news channels. We see that every day, especially starting last year, right? Like our feeds are the new news channels. It's the new TV, right? People buy people, and because they want a solution to their problem or they want to change. So so a very important thing here is to be you. Is to be you when you are posting. Don't try to be anything else or anybody else. Entertain and inform by just being you. And we'll go over authenticity in a bit here, but just keep that in mind. If you're kind of wondering, like, what are some of the things that I can kind of post about? Nick, this all sounds fantastic, but what can I post about? Well, post about the F's, okay? Don't let that mind go down the gutter. The F. So freedom, fun, family, your face, fashion, and food. These are 6 fantastic topics that you can write down. And then what I like to do, I'm a big list person. I love lists. So under each topic, I would say, create 3 bullet points of something more specific. And then when you do that, boom, now you have even more content, right? So freedom, post about, what this opportunity does, things that you've done in the past to get more freedom, fun things you like to do. Post about your family. A lot of people really like to be super like secretive, like, oh, I have a family, but I'm not going to show you, right? Well, that's not being authentic, right? And that's not being relatable. So posting about your family. Oh, there's people in the waiting room here. Oh, everybody's, yep. Come on in. Welcome, new people. So post about your family, post about, and when I say your face, there's a big reason why all the big advertisers and marketers in the world use celebrities and people and models to promote their product. It's because faces sell. Faces sell. If all we ever did was post pictures of a phone, we wouldn't sell very many phones. We need to create a story, and stories are created by personal connections, and personal connections are created by being, somewhat face to face. Anyway, let's move on. I can go on about that for hours. Success posts are another very extremely powerful tool. So what I mean by success posts, well, people on your team or people that you know of that have achieved, some kind of a success. So tell that person's why. Tell your team member's story, their who, their what, their why, their how. By sharing somebody else's story, your audience gets to know that, hey, you're not just all about you, and that you're actually helping other people too, right? Because people, honestly, they don't care about you. They just want to know how they're going to benefit by joining you, right? So the more success posts you share, the better kind of understanding that, hey, this person isn't just about themselves. They're actually helping other people too, blah, 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 right? Yeah, actually, I should just be reading this. It shows people that you care about other people, that you're producing winners, and it gives that person the spotlight, and it makes them feel good, right? We're in the making people feel good business, so make people feel good. And then also too, people emotionally connect with stories, right? Oh, well, there's more people. People emotionally connect with stories, not facts and not hype. So make sure, and then also too, when we're out there posting, always use disclaimers. Oh, I'm just gonna, there we go, mute, yep. Fun fact, only 16% of your friends will see your post at maximum. At absolute maximum, only 16% of your friends are going to be able to see your posts. So if you aren't consistently posting, there's a good chance that your friends aren't even seeing your posts. So friends, being consistent with your business on Facebook is everything. Regardless of the level of quality of content, quantity matters. Quantity matters, quantity matters, quantity matters. You need to be consistent. And then a little trick for getting more followers. So this is a little hack that I kind of learned back in the day. So to get more followers on Facebook, get your profile to 5,000 friends, right? So go and add people, delete a couple people after you've gotten to 5,000, delete a couple people, and then go and add like 20. So now those couple people, the first couple people will be able to accept your friend request, but then the other, say 15 people or 18 people, however many, when they go to accept your friend request, they won't be able to because your friends list is full. But what happens is they then turn into followers, right? So your follower count will start to go up. Sweet little hack to start getting more followers on Facebook. And then if you're going to tag someone in your posts, make sure that you're super thoughtful about it and only tag them if the picture or the post is super relevant to them. Don't tag people in your content just to try and get more engagement. So like tagging prospects in something, if you know that the prospect really isn't that interested, but you're like, hey, you know what, I'm just going to try this, that might actually turn them off a little bit more. So be thoughtful when you're tagging people. Make sure that it's relevant to them, right? And when you're out there posting stuff, being consistent, just when you think you're bothering people, that's when you're finally getting their attention. Okay. So like this is something to always keep in the back of your mind, because I always had, I've always dealt with a lot of imposter syndrome, because like, who am I to be, building a business and teaching how to build a business and all these different things, right? All these different things would be running through my head. Like I grew up in the middle of nowhere with no running water or electricity for like 12 years of my life. I'm a very C average student. I didn't go to college or anything like that, right? I barely finished high school. So who am I to be an influencer, right? So this imposter syndrome, it's been something that's very relevant. I'm sure a lot of people can really relate to this. So just keep in the back of your mind that when you're out there doing this, you're not bugging people, okay? Because all they do is they just continue to scroll. So you're not bugging people. And if somebody actually says something, that is a beautiful thing, because people are finally paying attention. So don't ever give up consistency for, worrying about what other people are thinking. Another good thing too is that many people don't like posts, but they're just scrolling. So remember back when you weren't in network marketing, did you go through the news feed and engage on a bunch of people's stuff? Probably not, right? Well, people that aren't in network marketing now, they don't go and engage on a bunch of people's stuff, but trust me when I say that they are watching, right? 100% they are watching. Another thing that I found to be kind of effective is not trying to be on every single social media platform if you can't be consistent on one of them, right? Don't try to be on every single platform if you can't be consistent on one. Be consistent on one, master it, have your, have your content schedule laid out, have it in your DMO, so you don't even need to think about it. You just kind of do the daily grind on it, and then expand to another social media platform. Because otherwise, you'll work too hard, you'll burn out, and you won't get the results you're looking for at all. So you'll just think, well, what's the point, right? Be consistent on one, build a foundation, build a very strong foundation, and then move on to the next platform. Choose the platform that works for you, okay? Using new features will give you an algorithm advantage. So for example, Using the My Story feature, Facebook Lives, watch parties, these new room things that Facebook has now come out with. I haven't tried it yet because to me it's just a group chat, so I'm not too sure what the point of it is, but I'm sure somewhere on YouTube there's a training on how to properly use these new create a room things, right? So using these new features will give you an algorithm advantage, because whenever Facebook puts out a new feature or a new anything, they want people to use it. So if you go and use that feature, they're going to be like, hey, this person gets it. This person's using the new feature. Let's give them a little boost, right? Sorry, the chat's blinking like orange. And it's like in the corner of my eye and it's super distracting. So I just had to cover it up there. So yeah, make sure that you use all the new features. My Story, Facebook Lives, watch parties, stuff like that. So Facebook is almost like a social pageant, okay? How many people can you win over and be friends with? Whoever becomes friends and not just Facebook friends, but truly connects with people wins on social media, okay? And another big thing too is that you don't want just anyone to engage on your post. You want the right people to be engaging on your posts. So I'm going to go more into this in a few slides here, but a key thing to remember is that when you're out there engaging, make sure that you're reaching up, right? Always be reaching up. So because you should be kind of following people and engaging on people's stuff that are kind of at a level or doing something that you want to be doing or being at that level, right? And you want them to start seeing your stuff more, because you want them to see this person's consistent, this person's killing it, this person is, you know, doing the best that they can in their business. You know, I'm going to follow their journey. And that is how you start to create the connections with those big influencers that we all want on our teams, right? So make sure you get the right people engaging back on your content. So you start engaging with so you just need to start engaging with more of those people. Know what I mean? Someone just need a sip of water here. Yeah, so just continuing with these Facebook tips. Sales on social media is like 10%. Sorry, sales on social media. 10% is technical. I gotta fix that. So sales on social media, 10% is technical, you know, how to specifically do things. 90% of making sales on Facebook is emotional. Is that emotional connection that you need to create with your audience through your content. That is what matters more than all of these little hacks and bugs and kind of tips and tricks and stuff like that. The emotional connection that you create with your audience. So I just had to laugh.
Nick,
Laugh. It says,
Nick,
yeah.
Sorry, I was just going to say, sorry to interrupt, but on that point, 80% of sales are actually done on the 5th to the 12th exposure as well. Now, an exposure is literally, it could be a post about the phone, but it could also be a post about, you know, privacy, data security that's nothing to do with the phone, where you're adding value. It could be that you've got it in the background of a photo or something like that. It could be anything, or even you talking to them or getting them on a presentation, whatever. So all these amazing things that Nick is telling you about allow you to touch base with these people on a regular basis and get them one step closer to that end goal of obviously getting the sale and potentially even a business partner.
Yeah, 100%. It's all about dripping, right? And it's all about those touch points. So when you're on Facebook, don't post any negativity. And I just had to laugh here because it says don't post political views. Obviously, this was created before 2020. Because that's all it is now, is political views. And you know what? I post away, because now is the time more than ever where we need to stand up and come together and all that kind of stuff to really push forward the revolution that we're creating. So it says don't post political views, but that right now in today's day and age, that is how, that is the fastest way to connect and grow with the right people that we want to connect and grow with for this business 100%. 100%. But the don't post negativity thing still stands. You don't want to be that person. Because what that does is that makes an emotional connection with the person, but in the wrong way, right? So when you're posting positivity, you're creating an emotional connection in the right way. When you're posting negativity, you're creating that emotional connection in just the 100% wrong way. So now this person that's reading your stuff will be like, oh, this person is, he or she is kind of a bummer. And so obviously you don't want that reputation in someone's mind. So then also too, this must have been written a long time ago, clean up your Facebook so you don't see any negativity. Well, that kind of goes hand in hand with the don't post political views thing. We are right now succumb to more negativity and more BS than we have ever been succumbed to before. Well, is in my life anyway. So this is a very hard thing to do. So I guess that should be changed to don't let anything you post on, don't let anything you see on Facebook dictate how you feel. Only you and only you have permission to dictate how you feel. Because if you see something on Facebook or social media and you get that feeling that and it's kind of like that triggering feeling, what you're doing is you're giving permission for that post, for that person to then dictate your happiness, right? We don't want to do that. 2020, 2021, these years, we need more mental toughness, grit, and more love and compassion than ever. So yeah, next slide. Oh, here's a good one. This still applies. Delete anyone negative. Delete the people that just give you that bad gut feeling that you cannot stand, even if they might be like a super intergalactic rock star prospect for the team. Delete anyone negative. Your brain space, your mind space, your energy, everything. You don't have the time and you don't have the energy to deal with all the negative people. So just delete them, get them away. There are so many people out there that are literally looking for what we have that we can just kind of ignore the ones that are being horrible and go and find the ones that are looking for exactly what we have, right? So if people are leaving negative comments on social media and stuff like that, never argue. You can state a fact, you can state your point, you can state your opinion, but don't sit there and create a comment list of 3,000 comments of this conversation trying to be right. Because if you fall into the trap of needing to be right, you just won't get very far in building relationships with people, right? Especially on social media. So just honestly, let them be right. Be like, yeah, no, okay, sure. If that's your view, if that's your opinion, fair enough, whatever. I'm moving on. Yes, and I guess that's kind of like a life lesson too. Never fall into the trap of needing to be right, because it'll just hold you back. Engagement tips. Let's move into getting more engagement on your stuff. How to get more engagement? One very simple answer. If you're not paying for ads, if you want to get more engagement, you need to engage more. You just simply need to engage more. How to get, got a mute you there, Anthony. There we go. How to get more support and stuff like that on your posts from team members or from upline, downline, crossline, whatever. Be more active in the team groups and chats and stuff like that, right? So the big thing here is to, or actually, I'm going to save this little comment for a slide coming up. But anyway, give 100% of your effort in small blocks of time, and you will get way more done. That's just kind of like a general tip. So what I like to do, and this also should be on a slide way later on, is to time block, right? So when you're using social media, I used to always get trapped in not knowing exactly what to do. So I would, I would look at notification. I would answer this message. I would engage on 5 people's stuff. Oh, there's not a notification. So I click the notification. Oh, this person replied back to me. And you're just kind of doing busy work on Facebook, and you're spending hours on it, but you're not really getting anything done. So time blocking is extremely effective. So if you basically give yourself 10 minutes, I'm going to give myself 10 minutes to do nothing but engage on people's posts. In order for you to get more engagement, you will be shocked at how many people you can engage on in 10 minutes. It is remarkable. So I highly recommend giving 100% of your effort in small blocks of time, because you will get way more done. And also make sure that before you post, you interact with at least 15 people. So you engage on 15 people's stuff. Oh, more people coming in here. Make sure you engage on at least 50 people's stuff before you post, because what that does is it basically wakes up your Facebook wakes up your Facebook algorithm. It lets the algorithm know that, hey, this person's here, they're active. Let's reward them with some audience for their post, right? So make sure that you make sure you interact with at least 15 people before you post. Yeah, and then this is a fantastic question. How many people would you like to engage on your post? Right? Have you really ever thought of that? You might see somebody, they make a post, they get 200 people to like and comment on their stuff on every single post. How many people would you like to comment on your stuff? 1, 2, 300 people? If you're, oh, I gotta mute. If you want that kind of engagement on your stuff, if you want 200 people to engage on your your content, you need to go and engage on that many people's stuff. It is literally as simple as that. And that might sound like a huge task, but I'm telling you, if you allocate 10 minutes a day, 4 days a week, you can comment on easy and engage on easy 200-300 people's stuff. All it takes is consistency and focused time, right? So engage on that many people's posts, like and comment. Don't just, don't just hit like before you post, and you will get way more engagement, way more eyes on your post to generate way more leads for your business. And this is kind of like a life lesson, not so much a Facebook lesson. To get people to like you, you need to like them first, right? So if you want people to engage on your stuff, you need to engage on their stuff first. The person who connects with the most people wins, okay? I kind of said this earlier, but it is very true. Whoever connects with the most people wins, not just talks to the most people, because but actually connects with the most, because social media has made it extremely easy to talk to everybody, but it's also created this massive disconnect between people, right? And we see that in our daily lives every single day. So when you're out there on social media and talking to people in Messenger, and you're thinking about, what to write for your post, whoever truly connects with the most people wins. Let's take Elle, for example, here, right? Let's look at Elle. Her content is amazing. Her copyright, her storytelling is fantastic. She really connects with a lot of people. She's super relatable. She's super vulnerable. She tells us exactly what she's going through, right? She connects with the most people, and friends, look who's number 1 on the leaderboard. It's as simple as that. Whoever connects with the most people wins, right? The person who is in front of everyone and is exposed to the most people will get the most results. So there's a very old saying, whoever is holding the marker in the front of the room is the person making the money. If you ever have a chance to teach on these calls, if you ever have the chance to hold the marker at the front of the room, take it. take it, because those are the people that build the skills, that build the big teams, that make the money. So I'll say that again. The person who is in front of everyone and is exposed to the most people will get the most results. And to get there, consistency is the only way that you're really going to truly make it. Okay. This is like my favorite saying in network marketing. The best and worst thing about this business is that anyone can do it. That is the best and the worst thing about network marketing, is that anybody can do it. So on that topic, I kind of want to connect that to what I was saying before. So when you're engaging on people's stuff, please make sure that you're reaching up. Always be reaching up rather than reaching down. Engage on people's stuff that are where you want to be, so that they start seeing more of your stuff. Okay. And then when you're engaging, it's also very important that you love and you, and that you use like those other emoticons rather than the like button. Love on stuff, don't like it, because you'll see, well, actually two things. When you love everything, color psychology, everything that is bright red is now connected to you. So when you're scrolling through, say like a comment feed or something like that, all of the ones that are highlighted with that little heart love thing, those are the ones that connect your eye first. So that's when you go and tap on it to see who did that. And then that's when a person will see your name more often. Like you'll see, I love everything. I don't just hit the like button, because Facebook is watching. Okay. And that obviously that's kind of like the whole point of these phones, blah, 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 blah. That's a whole nother conversation. Facebook is watching. So don't be lazy. So if you're just scrolling and liking stuff, just scrolling and liking, not using their other features, this will really hurt your visibility. So make sure that you're using the wow, make sure you're using like the sad face, make sure you're using the new care thing. I don't know in what situation I've ever used that care thing, right? Like I don't know exactly what kind of emotion it's trying to get, because I just use love for everything. And yeah, Facebook wants you to use all of their other features. So now let's talk about content and creating, or sorry, content and connecting. Okay. How are we for time? Wow. So when I was told this changed absolutely everything for me in network marketing. When I first joined network marketing, I was always, full of ego. I was young. I had a successful jet ski and boat rental business. So I was like, oh, I'm Nick Stewart. I can do anything, blah, 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 blah. It was a lot about me, right? But this next little phrase here, when I heard this about 6 to 8 months into my network marketing journey, it literally changed everything for me. If someone feels like you have more to gain from them than they can gain from you, why would they want to join you? Right? If someone feels like you have more to gain from them than they can gain from you, why would they join you? That might kind of like sting at first, but it is so true. It is so true. People join you because they're getting something.
Hi everyone. I think Nick has somehow literally stalled right in the middle of.
Can people not hear me? Hello.
So we'll just have to wait for him. Just bear with us, everyone.
Well, that was weird. What happened there?
Oh, you're back. Here we go. Nick, I don't know what happened.
I don't know. I was talking away, and then I was gone.
Mate, I was just slagging you off in the meantime, but you just disappeared on us.
Yep, go on.
No, Everyone's loving the training. I've just got to make you host again so you can share your screen, buddy.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay, so let's go back. So what was the last thing that
you were talking about? Exactly here about you need that if they felt like you were going to gain more from them than they were from you, why would they want to join you?
Yeah, no, 100%. So does anybody here agree with that? What are people's thoughts on that? True? 100% true? I think so. Yeah. If someone feels like you have more to gain from them than they can gain from you, why would they want to join you, right? So what you need to therefore do is you need to be able to provide value, right? And then you're probably wondering, okay, that sounds great, but how do I do that? What do I do? To be able to provide value, you have to become valuable, right? And to become valuable, you have to do nothing but do more valuable things. For example, personal development, training, but most importantly, to become more valuable, get more credibility, all that kind of stuff, you need to do one thing, just literally one thing, and that is get someone results. If you can help someone get results, you have gained credibility. Right? If you can help someone get results, you have gained credibility. So don't worry about who am I to be teaching this? Who am I to be doing this? Who am I to go after this person to get them into my business? Who am I to do this? All that imposter syndrome stuff. Don't, because, well, like for example, I spent months building a huge course, and this is not a plug for the course, by the way. I'm just giving you an example of imposter syndrome here. I built a really big course on everything that I did to build in network marketing. And as I was building the course, I was thinking, who am I to teach this stuff? Right? You know, I'm not some super intergalactic millionaire, blah, 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 blah. Right? Like, who am I to be doing this? And so I fought a lot with this imposter syndrome stuff, but it comes down to one thing. Can you get someone results? That is all that matters. Okay. So personal development, do training, be at the front of the room holding the marker and get someone results. That's what it takes. And then to become a person of, that's what it takes to become a person of influence and then be able to give value to the masses of people. Okay. So as you're doing this, focus on building your name so that you become an influencer. As great as Clear United is, as great as Michael Proper is, as great as these phones are, there's nowhere near as great as you, right? So when you're out there on social media, building your social media, sure, of course, you want to talk about the product, the opportunity, blah, 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 but talk about you, right? Talk about you. Focus on building your name so that you become an influencer. Because once you do that, because influence then equals power and credibility. Okay. So like an example that I always use is with Eric Worre. I'm sure we all kind of know who Eric Worre is in the network marketing space. He's like the Tony Robbins of network marketing. He's the biggest kind of talking head trainer type person. If he was to go join an MLM business tomorrow, he would have 10,000 new signups his first day. Boom, just like that. Why is that? That's because he has insane credibility in this space. So people just go, ping, okay, he's doing that. That must be an amazing move. I'm going to go do that too. So that's what we need to create for ourselves, is that credibility, right? And I already went over how to do that. Personal development, training, and then get someone results. When you're out there connecting and doing stuff on Facebook, getting likes does not make you money. Okay, so don't worry about just getting more likes on your content and on your stuff. I know how good, like I used to be, and this is being vulnerable here. I used to be horribly and extremely addicted to the amount of engagement that I would get on my posts. If I didn't get like more than 150, 200 people liking on a post, I would literally be depressed that day. And like, talk about a low place to be, right? It was not a fun time in my life, blah, 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 blah. That's a whole conversation for another time. But getting likes does not make you money. Okay. Connecting with people is what makes you money. Like we'll go back to Elle. She is amazing at connecting with people. Her content connects with people. And look who is number one on the leaderboard, right? Prime example. And then also too, if you're worried about that person that you've invited not making it to the webinar, not hopping on the call, not, watching that video, if you're worried about that one person, then you're not connecting with enough people. You're really not. You're not reaching out to enough people. You want to be reaching out to so many people that you kind of forget about the people that are throwing up all the objections and stuff like that, right? Obviously, we want to come back to them, but you want to be going and reaching out to so many people that's like, oh man, yeah, I forgot. I got to go back to this person, right? So I don't know why that's in this slide, but there it is. And then also too, when you're out there creating content, it's not about putting a smile on 1,000 people's faces. It's about that one person that is watching whose life you're about to change. So this is something that I operate with nowadays, especially with starting up this new YouTube channel, right? It gets no engagement. I might get 3 views in an entire day for like the first 4 minutes of one of my videos, right? If a person was to look at that and then be like, okay, yeah, no, I don't get very, very much engagement. I'm just going to stop here and thank you. I'm done. It's not about the level of engagement you get, because engagement is this false thing that social media companies have put into their systems to make us then therefore value ourselves, other people, and stuff like that, right? It literally has nothing to do with value. It's literally just a little dopamine hit, all it is. And they've mastered our psychology and our biology to capitalize on that. That's all it is. The important thing is whose life you're about to change, that one person that is watching. Okay. So that is what you want to be focused on when you're out there creating content and just starting to build your following. And then also too, you want to be someone of support. You want to be one of the people that people come to for help, support, and guidance. Because what that does is that then tells you that what you're doing is on the right track, because you must obviously have some credibility in what you're talking about if people are coming to you for help, right? You want to be that support person, offline and online, in your daily life and on social media. You just want to be that person. It's funny, this little next caption: post quality and post value. Well, no shit, Nick. That's kind of funny. Post quality and post value. Okay. This is a really good one. So just going more into content and connecting, creating in-depth conversations creates opportunities to work together. Okay. So when you're out there having conversations with your prospects and stuff like that, we've all had the, hey, how are you? Good. How are you? What are you up to today? Oh, not much. What are you up to? Oh, just the daily grind, working my business. Oh, what business are you in? Oh, I'm selling these blockchain encrypted phones. Do you want to check it out? Sure. You send them the video, and then they don't reply. We've all had that conversation 8 million times, right? Creating in-depth conversations creates opportunities to work together. So you don't want to just hop right into what you're doing and send videos and blah, 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 blah. That might work if you're on like a 1-month recruiting spree type thing and you're doing it to a ton of people. But on a regular basis, on a more consistent level, create in-depth conversations with people, especially the people that you think would just be dynamite in your business or on your team, right? Because you want to create that connection. You want to be the person that your buddies or people on social media ask for help. I kind of already went over that. And when you're talking to people and having these deep connections, you want to really keep your intentions here pure. Talk to them just to talk to them. When you're talking to them, don't be thinking in the back of your mind, okay, how can I bring up my amazing opportunity? How can I sell this person a phone? I'm just gonna slide it in the conversation right here and see if they go for it. I've done that a ton. We've all done that, but I'm telling you, if you just talk to them for the sake of talking, keep your intentions pure when you're talking to them, the magic will happen in the conversation. It just does, right? It happens with some people sooner. It happens with some people later. The magic will happen in the conversation. So has it been an hour already? Like, has it been an hour?
Nick, I'd say probably about 50 minutes by the time I spend about 5 minutes introducing you.
Oh, okay. Okay. Because it's like, I don't want to take up everybody's time here because I'm going very slow through this presentation.
No,
So,
you didn't do a great job. I think if people can't stay on for as long as you're going to need,
enough.
Then always watch it back, can't they? So
yeah, no, fair enough. Fair enough. So to kind of dive back in there, make sure you keep your intentions pure when you're talking to prospects. The magic will happen in the conversation. And then in the conversation, you want to look for the opportunity to invite them to what we're to what we're doing, right? You don't want to just throw it in their face and hope that they'll be interested, right? Create deep conversations, talk to them just to talk. The magic will happen in the conversation. And what was the last thing? That was so good. Oh yeah, look for the opportunity to invite, right? That's the magic right there. Do that with every single person you come across on Facebook and you'll build a remarkable business. Let your stories, like your Facebook stories, let your posts, let your videos, let your Facebook lives, let all that stuff do the selling for you. Let all of the tools do the selling for you. So that way you can keep your inbox about the relationship. Okay. Because every single time you go into somebody's inbox and you kind of drip on them about the product or the opportunity, it slowly but surely erodes the relationship away. It just does, right? Even if we have the best, purest of intentions in our hearts, it slowly but surely erodes the relationship away. So that's why we want to let your stories, your posts, and your videos kind of do the drip follow-up stuff that James was talking about earlier, right? Like those touch points, how he was saying it takes five touch points to really make a sale. It is so true. So let your content be your follow-up, right? Obviously we want to schedule follow-up when we send the informational webinar, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff that's on the training website. But for the sake of social media, let your content do the selling and keep the inbox about relationships. Just focus on building that relationship. And with your content, with your conversations, make sure that you connect with the 6 human needs. Okay. So love and connection, great topic to kind of talk about and to focus the conversation around. Growth, contribution, significance, uncertainty, and certainty, right? Those are the 6 human needs. Tony Robbins, he's the one that came up with that. And he writes a lot about it. And I highly recommend people kind of diving deeper into those 6 human needs, kind of so you kind of know more of what I'm talking about. But for the sake of this training, I'm going to move on because I am going pretty slow. Recreating positive messages is not stealing. Okay, you're not stealing somebody's post if you're if you're sharing a positive message. Okay, there is nothing wrong with spreading a good message. If somebody says, oh my God, you stole my post, you did this, you did that, and it's just a positive message, and that's all it is, just like give them a backhand upside the head and be like, man, come on, you don't own words. It's an amazing message, and I wanted to share it out to the masses of people. But anyway, I have a slide on that in a couple slides here, but just moving on. Oh, and this should have been on the last slide. The more you drip on them personally, the more you're eroding your relationship with them. Kind of went over that. This is a really good one. People, especially nowadays, people want a family and a place to call home, right? People want a family and a place to call home. So when we're building our team culture on social media, we want to build a team culture that people want to be a part of. People want to be a part of something nowadays more than ever that I've seen in the history of my lifetime. People are missing connection and all of that kind of stuff, right? So when we're out there engaging on each other's posts, do more, and I'm guilty for this, right? Do more than just be like, oh, love this, or this post is amazing, these phones are amazing, blah 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 blah. We really want to create a family here, and we really want to build a place for people to call home. We want to build a culture that when people see our stuff, they're like, man, I vibe with those people. That's who I want to be with. Right? And all this kind of stuff, all these little things really go a long way. Post about your progress. Post about your progress that you make. So like for example, I made a post today about me hitting the 100 maybe if I can not stutter and get a word out, we could be moving on here. Today I made a post about getting the 100 subscribers on my YouTube channel, right? Progress is what people want to see. People love progress because it's relatable, right? So post about your progress. Progress literally equals happiness. Like, could you imagine if you ate the same meal every single day? Could you imagine if you're in bed and you did the same thing every time, right? It would just be horrible. It would be boring. Progress is happiness. Doing more things, right? And showing the progress. To make people happy, post about your progress, and you'll be way more relatable. Tell your stories about your progress, right? Like for an example would be, I wasn't really sure about these phones because I'm an iPhone person, but I gave it a couple days and I love this thing, right? That's a progress story. And that will be relatable with so many people because there's a lot of iPhone people out there, right? If you want to do well in this business, you have to kind of know people. So I highly recommend diving more into like personal development, learn the different personality types, learn the different conversation types, stuff like that, learn psychology a little bit. The more you know people, the better. This is a really good one. You start getting comfy on the camera, right? Start getting comfy on the camera. And the best way to do that is by using your Facebook stories. If you're shy to do Facebook Lives or to do videos or anything like that, Facebook Lives and videos are the best way, hands down, to grow on Facebook, by the way. Posts and pictures are fantastic, but videos, like Facebook and YouTube are steady at it. Who can get more viewership because they want to sell to the advertisers, right? So the more video you do, the way better it's going to be for you to build your audience. Way more people are going to see your stuff. But if you're like me, 6 years ago, I was mortified to go on video. I had a massive stutter, couldn't talk. I'd talk way too fast, blah, 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 blah. Start using stories, Facebook stories. So make a video with the camera facing away from you, and just talk. So you get used to hearing your voice on camera, right? So that way it doesn't sound so weird. And then eventually turn that camera around so it's on you and have stories about you. And if you don't like it, right, and if you don't like that video, it's going to be gone in 24 hours anyway. But just make sure you keep it up there. take the time to make your content better so that you stand out. Oh, and this last thing here is that has to do with my previous team. So let's just move on from that.
I noticed that, Nick. You need to just tweak that one, mate.
Yeah, I'll just tweak that. Just ignore that one, everybody. But anyway,
many years ago for you now, mate.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's been a while. So make sure you post bright, clear pictures and post them one at a time, right? On your clear phone, try to take pictures outside or with a ring light or something like that, so they're bright and so they're more clear. And also that has to do with the last team, so just ignore that too. Save good posts you see on Facebook and or on Google or something like that, and reuse them at a later date with your own twist on it. So like I said before, there is nothing wrong with reusing a positive message in your own words. There is nothing wrong with that. So if you see a post on Facebook and you're like, oh, that's a good one, I'm going to use that later on, screenshot it for later or save it for later, right? And then post it, in a couple months or something like that. There's nothing wrong with doing that. And in fact, if you see that post got a lot of engagement from that person and you try it and it gets a lot of engagement, it's like, hey, that worked, right? Perfect. Oh, I'm just going to mute you there. Cool. So I used to be huge on doing Facebook Lives. So what I would do is schedule 1 to 2 interview style Facebook Lives a week with at least one person being outside of the team, right? I try to post at least 1 video a week on any of the previous topics, and I'd like to have 2 watch parties a week. So I'm not sure if watch parties are like still a big thing. I don't see too many people doing it, but actually watch parties were a fantastic kind of way to build my kind of small little team culture, because I'd have like what was called Watch Party Wednesdays. So I would just play like a personal development video on my Facebook, and if people wanted to hop in and have a conversation and talk about it, stuff like that, we all could. It was actually really beneficial. So yeah, people might want to start doing that. Just quickly, I want to talk about color psychology a little bit. Color psychology, and this is something that obviously you don't need to spend a bunch of time thinking about it, worrying about it, blah, 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 blah. But there is a reason why companies spend millions of dollars on color psychology and their logos and branding and stuff like that, right? Because it is real and it does work. But more so than like, so for example, I'll go over these examples here. So using a lot of red, it's passionate, active, exciting, it's bold, stuff like that. Pink is more loving, calm, respect, warmth, feminine, care, sensitive. Purple is deep, creative, causes a lot of stimulation, comes with wealth and like royalty and fancy. Navy blue is all about trust, loyal, sincere, authority. That's why like every lawyer suit on the planet is navy blue, because they're all trying. Yeah, I'm talking to you, James. Green is all about balance and growth and restore and equilibrium, positivity, stuff like that. More of a brighter blue is all about spirit and perspective, control, content, modern, aware. And then orange is all about instinct, warmth, and gut reactions, optimism, right? So obviously these like definitions will mix and match depending on the situation in which they're connected to. But I always used a lot of blue, and I'll get into why. So just an example of some color psychology. Red and yellow are the most appealing colors to children. So red is used in the McDonald's logo. It's used to increase appetite and to create a sense of urgency, thereby getting customers to order in a hurry and then leave faster, right? Yellow is the color of cheeriness and optimism, and in the trademark M used by McDonald's creates an atmosphere of positivity about the brand as seen in their tagline, I'm loving it, right? And then when these colors are used together, it can be agitating. And so what this does is it further helps facilitate customer turnover. Like red and yellow look horrible together. So why would they use this in their logo, right? Well, what it does is it doesn't look good. So in the restaurant, nobody sits in McDonald's and sits in there for a couple hours. And all this color psychology stuff, it helps with that customer turnover, right? Starbucks, they use green, which is the only top global brand that uses green in its primary color, by the way. And they use a mermaid to further use of also stimulates the customers' associations with nature, and it's relaxing. It uses green to promote a sense of relaxation. It invites people to come in, have a coffee, de-stress, and stuff like that, right? One last example here is Fanta Orange. So even though they have multiple colors of Fanta, purple, blue, I think they have more than that. But anyway, 70% of this company's sales all comes from their orange drink right at checkout, because color psychology, orange is the impulse buying color. So for example, to kind of put all this in, like, Nick, what the heck am I talking about? I always used a lot of blues in my content. So like when I was editing my pictures and stuff like that, I'd always try to, wear a lot of blue clothes, because that's what I want to be connected to, because blue in the color psychology world, it connects a lot with trust. It connects a lot with confidence, right? It connects a lot with those kind of emotions, right? So I used a lot of blue in my stuff because that's what I want to be representing, and that's what I want people to feel when they look at my stuff. So obviously this is like way pretty in-depth stuff, but it's just stuff to think about, right? So yeah, so like I I didn't know that picture was in here. I forgot about that. That's funny. But anyway, you can see the kind of like the blue hues, right? So I'd always put that blue hue on everything. So then also too, all of my content goes along the same theme, and that really helps with creating like familiarity. So when people see your content, they just like automatically like it. So yeah, blues. Oh, and then that was it. Blues. I used a lot of blues, and it seemed to work. So we're getting to the end of the presentation here, and what we're getting into is more of like specifically how-to stuff. So these were my rules for posting. I had a very specific set of rules for posting, and this is my posting strategy. Okay, 4 days a week, I would post nothing related to business whatsoever. Just Nick living his best life, right? Trying to entertain, trying to inform, blah, 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 blah. 2 days a week, I would kind of post about the business. And then 1 day a week, I'm like, boom, give me your money, right? So what this comes down to is give, and then ask. Give, and then ask. Jab, 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 right hook, right? I was never allowed to post or look at notifications until I engaged on other people's stuff first. I always say happy birthday by private message every single day to all the happy birthday people. It really breaks the ice, and it opens a conversation with people that you might not have talked to ever, right? And then what'll happen is they'll start to see your content, because what happens is your algorithms will start to mesh and mix. So they start to see your stuff, right? This is huge. Liking, commenting, and sharing on other people's posts does not get your posts to show up more in their feeds. It gets more of their posts to show up in your feeds. Okay. So the key here, when you're out there engaging on people's stuff, is to get them to like, comment, and share back. So, okay, Nick, obviously, but how do I do that? So what you need to do is you need to say things and ask questions in the comment section that promotes a conversation, and then take that conversation to the inbox. And then at that point, they will start seeing all of your stuff. I hope that made sense. So when you're out there engaging, you want to comment on their stuff, ask questions. I think this is on the next slide. Oh yeah, okay. So the more love and support you share, the more love and support you're going to get back. Okay. So leaving comments is key, crucial. There's no point of engaging in people's stuff if you're not going to leave comments. Liking people's posts does literally nothing. Leaving thoughtful comments is what will separate you from everybody else. So, hope you're having hope you're having an amazing Friday. Where did you take that picture from? Questions, stuff like that will create discussion. And then the goal is then to take that conversation to the inbox. So your algorithms start meshing together. So they start seeing more of your stuff. Why this is important is because in real life, conversations go back and forth, right? So if they reply, make sure that you reply back. And this helps with the algorithm. Trying to be efficient kills relationships. Copy and paste messages, liking a bunch of people's stuff, just commenting #love this on 1,000 people's different stuff. Trying to be efficient kills relationships and doesn't boost your engagement whatsoever. We're not trying to be efficient here. You don't want to reply. James, look like you want to say something.
Yeah, no, I literally just wanted to say that I completely agree with what you're saying on that front. And one thing that's really important is, what platform do you normally correspond with that person? If it's normally that you WhatsApp that person, then use WhatsApp. If it's normally that you Facebook that person, use Facebook. If it's Instagram, etc. Don't go do something out of the ordinary or weird that they're going to go, well, hold on a second, why are they contacting me on this platform when normally we chat on this one or whatever? I think that's really important as well, just to clarify.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving me the time to have a glass of water.
I also thought you could do a bit of a break as
well. Okay, more of my rules for posting. So it's like if you make a post, try to space out your replies to the comments, because what this will happen is that it'll stretch out the amount of time that your post will be seen to people. So you'll see that like for the first few hours, I'll reply back to everybody's comments right away. Man, I got ambulances and stuff going by like crazy. Excuse me. But then later on, the post, I'll slowly but surely stop replying to comments, and then I'll come back at a later date or just later on that date and reply to them, because what that does is that keeps your post alive longer, so people will start to see it later on, right? Like, for example, you ever notice an old post being brought back to life from like years ago? That's because someone has gone back and engaged on it. So engage on old posts to rethread old posts, right? Or to keep current posts alive longer. Posts have about a 90-minute window where you get the majority of your engagement. So that's why you'd want to stretch out your replies back to the comment, because it just helps keep it alive a little bit longer. So yeah, so I said this in the very beginning, post at the time that you have the most amount of friends online. For me, it's typically around 2 p.m. That's when I have the most amount of people online. If your audience is global, the best time to post doesn't really matter. So if you want to maximize exposure, track your numbers every 2 hours. It says here for 1 month. That's wow, I was dedicated before. Now I would say a week. and just really use that and do that just for 1 week, just to see when you have the most amount of people online. And that's when you will be able to dictate when the best time for you to post is. So getting the right people. We talked about this earlier. Where do you find the right people? Okay. Add people off of entrepreneur pages, add them as friends, add people off of law of attraction people or pages. So that was always my favorite, because with the law of attraction crowd, and I believe in law of attraction and all the stuff, blah, 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 blah. But the law of attraction people, if you have a really good conversation with them, they'll be like, man, the universe put you in my life for a reason. And then you'll be like, yeah, I agree. Right? Let's work together. So the law of attraction pages, great place to go. All of the truth seeker pages, obviously that's an amazing place for us to go to connect with our people, because that's who our people are. You know, all the crazy conspiracies or the conspiracy theorists, those are my people. So that's the best place to go to find people, especially for what we're doing. For more, you know, business sales type people that you might want to recruit into your business to promote the phones, go to Grant Cardone's personal page. Don't go to public figures public figures like public pages, because those are full of people that are from countries that we've never heard of, right? But if we go to these people's personal pages and add people from their personal pages, you're seeing people that are literally not only connected with them, but are actively using Facebook, right? So go to Grant Cardone's personal page, go to Bob Proctor's personal page, because they all have personal Facebook pages. Go to Eric Worre's personal Facebook page. These are amazing resources for you to find people, right? So then what you do is you go to their recent posts and you add people who are active, you know, liking and commenting on their stuff, so you know they're active, and then add those people. And then a big key also too when engaging on stuff is only engage with your immediate team on Facebook. Because this is huge, because what happens a lot, especially when teams and stuff like that are new and they're just getting built, is we all engage on each other's stuff, which is fantastic. We want to do that. But what'll happen over time is we'll only start to see our teammates' stuff. And you know, that's okay. But the purpose of being on Facebook is to generate leads for the business, right? And if we're engaging on people's stuff that already own phones, that are already in the team, then we don't really need to continue to see all their stuff, right? So save that sort of engagement for inside the groups. Outside the groups, only engage on like your immediate team's stuff. So in that way, you still continue to see other people's stuff and not people that have already bought in Clear phones. You know what I mean? And like, I don't want to sound like I'm saying, oh, don't support people. That's not what I'm saying. But just engage on your immediate team stuff. So that way, James, you want to say something again?
No, it's just a really, it's just a really relevant point. I don't mean to interrupt your flow at all, Nick. It's but the thing is that, like, obviously with cross lines, for example, people that maybe you like their content and stuff, don't add them as a friend and utilize that extra person when you want to be using those for your prospects. Just follow each other back instead of being connected as friends. That's always a really good way to engage with the team, but at the same time, maybe not necessarily taking up one of your valuable friend requests.
Yeah, 100%. So what I like to do is I like to put people in friends lists. So this is a hack that nobody does that is extremely beneficial when it comes to prospecting, engaging with people's stuff, and kind of organizing, you know, new connections, people that are already in the business, blah, 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 blah. So what do I mean? So I'm going to go to my second screen here and show you what I'm talking about. I have a video here that talks about it, but it's a super old video. So if I go to my Facebook, can everybody see my Facebook now? Can you see it? Yeah. So on the left-hand side, in this column, you'll see friends lists. It's right up here for me today because I just used it today. So if you go to friends lists right here, so this is where I would have like all of my team members prospects. So like I would get my team members to be like, hey, you know, shoot me over your top 15 prospects. I'm going to add them as friends and I'm going to start engaging on their stuff. Right. So yeah, just create a list, and you can have lists for all your new connections, people that are kind of like a priority, people that are interested, people that you want to get interested, stuff like that. Fantastic little hack for you to just keep track of people. Now back to the other screen. There we go. So yeah, create friends lists. Okay, some what not to do's. Never post without first engaging and saying happy birthday to people. And this is just a personal preference of mine. Don't share posts on your timeline. What this does is it makes your timeline look very messy. If you like the post, copy and paste the words or the picture or whatever, and then just tag the owner to give them credit. Because sharing stuff will, like, it kills engagement. It's good for the other person, but for you, it totally kills your engagement. It looks messy on the timeline. And if it's a video, so don't share videos, especially, actually, this is fantastic because we all see videos now on Facebook that we'd like to save, but we can't, because we don't know how to kind of pull them off of Facebook or pull them off of YouTube or something like that. So use this program to rip videos off of Facebook and YouTube so that you can save them, so that if they get censored, they aren't gone forever. Okay. So what it's called is Clip. So go to clipgrab.org. Okay, clipgrab.org. And so this is how you can rip videos off of YouTube and Facebook so that you can save them. And that way, censorship can't stop us. Clipgrab.org. And that's just a computer thing. That's not a phone thing. You can't download it on your phone. That's just a computer thing. Don't post inspirational memes. They get killed on the algorithm. Basically, they get treated as spam nowadays. So if you use the words but use it in a status, so like in like the short status but the big letters, or now we had those block statuses, you just use the words in one of those, or maybe post a picture with a bit of a story. Do that instead of just posting the inspirational meme. And then this example here, make sure you space out your sentences so they look symmetrical. Like, this is just very messy and it's not easy and appealing to read. The more we can make our stuff look like a children's book, the better, right? Don't mash your emojis in the middle of sentences, because again, this just looks messy and it's not easy to read, and and you can't really tell like what's the purpose of the emoji, right? Don't post multiple pictures. Post them one at a time so you can spread out your content and don't use them all at once. Like, don't post like an entire album of stuff. And again, this is only for when you're trying to get maximum engagement. Like if you're just posting like, like an event, or you went to a car show or something like that, and you got like 30 pictures of 30 different cars, you obviously wouldn't want to spread that over time, but that's not a big engagement post. That's just kind of, you're just posting something. That's different than like your optimum, I'm going for engagement on this post kind of post. Don't be lazy. Put 1 to 3 maximum emojis at the end of a sentence. So make your sentences look colorful so they're more intriguing to read. Like this, like it's spaced out, the sentences look symmetrical, but how much better would this be if there were emojis at the end of each sentence? It would just look colorful, right? Again, think children's book. Don't Photoshop, and I guess this has gone out the window with filters now. But back in the day, I would always say, don't Photoshop your pics to the point where they look cheesy. Now people have dog tongues and ears and stuff. So like that's gone way out the window. But yeah, don't Photoshop your stuff so it looks cheesy. That'll kind of just like turn people off. Only make product benefit posts once a week. Good experience posts, on the other hand, can be posted a little bit more often. So that's kind of like the twice a week type posts. This is way late in the presentation. Don't think you're annoying people. That's when you're finally just getting them to watch. Do not get into argument battles do not get into arguments or battles when you have haters about your product posts. So a lot of people message me and they say, Nick, what should I say back to this? Because this person's saying this, blah, 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 right? Honestly, this might not be the best answer or the most, whatever answer. But personally, what I do is that if people are coming at me with these big questions and these big kind of things, and they're saying that, I'm lying and this product doesn't do that, I ignore them and move on, because I'm not here to convince people that what I have is amazing. I know it's amazing. And a lot of people out there know that it's amazing. And those are the people that I'm looking for. I'm not going to sit here and waste half a day and 300% of my emotional energy trying to convince somebody that just wants to be right, more or less, that what I have is amazing. I'm not interested. Like, I'm just not interested. There are so many people out there looking for what we have. That's who I'm going to focus on. Right? Like that might not be the best advice, but that's just what I do. Right? Because it is great to educate people, but most people aren't open to being educated. Right? They just want to be right. So what I do to those people is I push the little eject button and they're out of my life. On to the next one. In your statuses, never say PM me or post your links in the statuses, stuff like that. If they want to get a hold of you, they'll get a hold of you. Next, man, how long is this? We're going on we're gonna go 2 hours here. Yeah, props to the people that stayed on. Dedication. Woo. Somewhat to-dos. Space out your sentences, use different colored emojis. I always like to use these little highlighted arrows to highlight what I'm talking about in my post, because regardless of everything else, if there's one thing that I want a person to look at when they're scrolling through my post, is these highlights here, right? Use capital letters on your hashtags. It just looks better. And use 1 row of hashtags maximum, because if you go more than that, it just doesn't look good, right? Remember, think children's book. So again, space out your sentences, use different colored emojis. Don't use all the same color emojis, because then it just all kind of blends together. So try to use different colors so it looks colorful. Use capital letters to highlight. Yeah, capital letters in your hashtag. Have a consistent hashtag so it's kind of associated with you and your brand. So I always used to use hashtag Nick Knows, right? And so it honestly, back then it became a thing. People would make these fun little posters making fun of me, blah 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 blah. Nick Knows, like it just became a thing, right? And then also too, whenever somebody would tap on that hashtag, all of my previous posts would come up and be connected to it. So come up with something for you, right? Come up with a little hashtag, for you. James, I'll tell you later on what you should make yours.
Mate, I was thinking Juicy James, something like
that. Hello, Leo. Make sure your profile picture is you. Make sure it's a clean, clear picture. As great as it is, to see your dog. Your dog, isn't you. So make sure your profile picture is you. Don't really use any cheesy or filters, stuff like that for your profile picture. Have a short, good looking bio, right? So have it look symmetrical, colorful, super easy to read, and kind of describes you. Have a cover picture of, that's when you want to have a cover picture of like your family, your lifestyle, and stuff like that. And I always like to show my followers, right? Show your follower count. Like even if it's super low right now, show that progress. That is an amazing progress post to go from, like I'm just starting out on my Facebook journey. I only have 10 followers. And then next year, or next month or next 4 months, whatever, you might have 150. That's progress. That's a progress post. And that kind of stuff is what is relatable to people. And when you're relatable, you do what? You build an emotional connection, right? Okay, now we're getting into my DMO, my daily method of operation. Literally exactly what I did every single day, step by step by step, totally laid out. So people would always ask me, Nick, how much time should I spend, doing this? How much time should I spend doing this? Friend, network marketing is not a time-based business. It's a checkbox business. It is a checkbox business. Whenever you're done something, check it off the list, right? So I had 3 different types of DMOs, or not really different types, but I had 3 DMOs for every single day at different times of the day. So morning, afternoon, and evening. Okay. Because what happened to me was I would spend every waking hour on Facebook, and it totally robbed me of joy in my life. Again, another conversation for another day. But creating these daily methods of operation really helped me maximize my efficiency and give me my life back. Okay. So in the morning, this is what I would do literally step by step every single day. And then once I did these things, I would hop off, go do whatever, and just message people, right? So in the morning, first thing I do, happy birthdays in Messenger. I would clean up the on this day. I think now it's called memories, right? So I'd go back into my memories. I would check out any old posts that I might be able to reuse, or any posts that might be a little embarrassing. I'd get rid of them, right? I would delete 3 to 5 kind of dead weight people. I would engage for at least 30 minutes on prospects. So I would have a prospect list in my friends list, and I'd go and engage for 30 minutes. Then I'd make a post. Then I'd add some people, put them in a list, and then boom, I'm done for being on Facebook in the morning. I don't need to be on Facebook anymore, right? This kind of stuff is so beneficial for you to do to maximize your efficiency on Facebook and to give you your life back so you're not always on Facebook. In the afternoon, I would reply back to some of the comments, right, on that post. I would message at least 10 people just to connect with them. I'd engage for 15 minutes just on the general news feed. I would do a Facebook Live, or I would schedule a Facebook Live. I'd make another post, and then I'd add another 10 people, right? So doing all of this, like, it takes maybe half an hour. It doesn't take long. Like, it might take 45 minutes if you really want to, spend some time doing it. For the people that, want to go full time or are full time or something like that, it's so easy to get caught up in being busy, right? But doing this kind of stuff, like, it doesn't take that long. And then in the evening, I'd reply back to all the comments except maybe a few that I can reply back to later on. So to rethread that post. I would add 10 more people, place them in a list, right? I would engage on new prospects for 15 minutes. So I'd have a friends list called new prospects where I added all my new people, or sorry, they would be new people that have accepted my friend request. Those people would go into my new prospects list, and then I would engage on that list for like 15 minutes. And then after that, what I would do is I'd put my phone on silent in a different room in the other side of the house and get a good night's sleep. So like, I can't create a DMO for you because everyone's days are different, right? And we can't possibly say that we're going to do the same thing, I'm going to do this 10 a.m. every single day, blah, 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 blah. That's so unrealistic because different things happen every single day. So create a checkbox DMO that works for you. You can use that as kind of like a reference guide for yourself, right? But create a DMO that works for you. And it's super, super beneficial. And that's it, fam. Love you, and let's slay. And that's that.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Nick. As a couple of people alluded to, I think it's one of those where you've crammed a lot into a very short space of time there, which I think everybody's going to be really grateful for. There's some amazing top tips there from you. Nick is like the king of social media. It's not just women that find him good looking and charming and attractive. Lots of men in posts as well. Does anybody else think he looks a bit like Aaron Carter from Backstreet Boys? Anybody else get that? I don't know, but basically, in a nutshell, I thought that presentation was amazing. I really enjoyed it. Sorry for ever interrupting your flow, Nick, just to sort of give my 2 pennies worth, but I thought it was brilliant. So thank you so much for doing that for us. I hope everybody kind of got at least something from that. And obviously, if you didn't have time to take down notes, Nick will be uploading the training as ever onto our team training website, www.theclearrevolution.com. So yeah, brilliant work, Nick.
Cool. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I'm just going through some of the the chat here to get some feedback, and it seems like people pulled some value. And yeah, and you know, all this kind of stuff. So like I've taken a couple of years off of social media now, so I'm rebuilding my following. So if you go and look at my content, you know, I'm not getting 200-300 people engaging on my stuff. I'm totally rebuilding, right? So now I'm back to the grind. I'm doing the daily DMO. I'm doing all the things to slowly build it back up, and it does take time. You know, you can't just expect it to boom happen. When I got up to the point, like I was at a point where I could post anything and get 300 likes, right? And that was probably after a solid couple of years of being consistent, doing these things every single day. But I'm telling you, it paid off because that generates so many leads for your business, right? So yeah, so I'm in the stage of rebuilding. And yeah,
and just on that point, some people in this group might have more time than others, and I always think like time is obviously one of those funny things. Just think of all those little nooks and crannies in your day. If your DMO means that you're super busy, get up 15 minutes earlier in the morning, just 15 minutes, and just find that time to do your messages and do some stuff. And then I swear, and I know this is a bit crude, I usually spend about 10 minutes on the toilet about 2 or 3 times a day. And basically, I find that a really good time to get my messages done. I'm nice. I've got no distraction. Yeah, exactly. And so basically, I'll just go sit on the toilet, and in 10 minutes, 3 10-minute blocks. There you go. L, he literally does this. Yeah, I do. 3 10-minute blocks a day, plus a 15 minutes in the morning, and you've done nearly an hour's worth of work on your business. An hour's worth of work every single day builds up to a big amount in the end. I promise you that. I promise you that. Anyway.
No, 100%. And it's all about that focused work, right? So like I said that in the very beginning, a focused 10 minutes, you'll get more done than in a distracted hour. You just will, right? So focus on something for 10 minutes. Don't respond back to messages. Don't, look at notifications. Real friends talk on the toilet. That's funny. And yeah, and in those focused blocks of time, that's when you'll just get way more done. But on that note, I need to have like a full glass of water because my throat is on fire. And yeah, thanks for everybody. And this will be recorded and put on the website.
Cheers, Nick. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
Have a great night, everybody. See ya.